Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. Alright, it is late. I am tired, but I wanted to do some drawing tonight. I was planning to stream it earlier, but I guess things got distracted. Right. How's it going, Fluggy? So who knows how long I'll go. I always say I'm going to end it shortly, but if I start drawing, I tend to not stop. But I do plan to keep the stream up until tomorrow. I'll probably go to bed, then I'll restart it about midday tomorrow for me. I just keep drawing. Alright, just limber up a bit. Okay. Alright, how are we all doing? Can everyone hear me okay? Besides my creaky chair. Where are we at? Okay, good. Alright. Let me start messing around with paint. No, what's it called? Clip Studio Paint. I'm going to start messing around with that and setting up what I need to do tonight. Oh, Cat is here. Well, she was here, but I think she wants to leave. Leaving Cat? There you go. You know, I was recording earlier, and I was trying to do a drawing scene montage, recording on the camera for a video, and she she decided at that point that she wanted to jump onto my lap, so she's just in the footage now. There's no turning back. I'm not shooting it again. She just is there. Let's see. Let me find my screenshots. Are we in the right place? I just moved half of these. I don't know where are they? Oh, okay, here they are. So, what do we have? Start with that one, I guess. Okay. Just gonna shrink it down a bit. In the corner. Okay, I have my shot. Where are we at? How's it going, Spence? Alright. Are we ready for some drawing until I fall asleep? Also, I need to check something. I'm going to switch over and I need to make sure all my settings are correct, which they might not be. Alright, 1 second. I need to get the chat up on my phone so I can actually see what I'm doing when the chat's up when I switch over. I think I am Brave verified, but here's the problem, Spence, right? I don't know how to get any of them. If people send me anything on Brave, I don't know how to get the money out of it because I never really fully set up an account. So like it's kind of in like a weird limbo. How tired am I, sugar boy? I haven't had any caffeine today. I'm actually I'm starting to feel like I'm gonna drop. But alright, I need everyone to keep an eye on me for a second because I'm about to switch over. So now I have my chat in my hand. I'm going to switch over to the different setup and I'm going to see if all my audio settings still don't mess up. Alright. Can you still hear me in the new setup? Do I still sound okay? Alright, I haven't started going all corrupty. Hey, how's it going, Shabes? Alright, if that's the case, let me just check my output capture. Where is that one? Fuck. Audio, was it audio input? No, audio output. I want audio output capture. Alright, I'm gonna adjust that so I can play some relaxing Sonic music, as I always do. Alright, that's good. Okay, now let's jump to. Actually, no, let's start with Okay, there we go. Alright, it seems to be coming through. How are we doing, everyone? Can you hear my Tatsuru Yamasta? Alright. So because I guess I should bring the conceit of what we're doing. We vibing tonight. Yeah, we're gonna be vibing really hard until I fall asleep on stream. Alright, so the conceit of this, what we are doing tonight. I went. At one point I decided I probably wasn't going to talk about Goro's new video, but then I saw all the spite and hate about it, so I was like, oh no, now I have to do it. Now I have to do it. Like, some of the takes were just too dumb for me not to say something about it. But unfortunately, to talk about a Ghibli film as it comes out, that you can't use footage. If you want to, you're instantly going to get yeeted. If I released this on day one, Ghibli would take it down on day one. So this whole video has to be nothing but workarounds. That I can't use a single clip from the actual film. So I might use a couple screen caps, but most of it, most of it as it stands right now, is drawings or illustrations from the original book or other workarounds. So I have a couple frames of the film that I need to redraw. Look like the dude from Fight Club. I don't want to be the dude from Fight Club, but it might be the glasses. I was kind of going for a different vibe, but I think the guy from Fight Club also has yellow glasses. So yeah, Shapes, if you said, yeah, send me the 19-minute one, but I probably won't be able to check it until this morning, because by the end of the stream it will be like 1 or 2 a.m. for me. So I will go to bed, but I will check it in the morning. So yeah, we're going to draw some frames, or I'm going to not exactly redraw them, but I'm going to loosely reinterpret a couple of the images from the film to use in the video. Are they blue blockers? I'm not sure what you mean. What, the glasses? I think the glasses are actually, if I understand right, these glasses are night driving glasses. I don't think they have any utility whatsoever, besides if you're driving at night. Yeah, it has to be a little clever this time. I have to be a little bit more smart about it if I want to actually, you know. I guess it wouldn't be so bad if it was one of their more obscure films, but I feel like they're very much on the money when they release a new film. They're probably not going to have you, probably not exactly going to be as nice to you about you releasing a video on it with it on like day one. So let's see, what shape are we looking at here? So it's like triangle. Thank you for the joy. Again. What time is it where I am? Wait, Spence. No, it's all good, Spence. I got the article somewhere, though it is in Japanese, and my Japanese is terrible, so I will have to archive it until it is useful to me. But I might be able to run it for a translator and do a little bit of work. But I think the article seems fine to me. It is 10:30 at night over here. So if I'm assuming this shape, Oh, shaves. Funny you should mention that. Why does this song sound like Tyler the Creator's Thank You? Well, you see, shaves. Well, you see, Tyler the Creator. What would be the word? I don't know if he necessarily sampled it, but he reinterpreted it. The thank you for the heart, thank you for the love, thank you for the joy, etc., etc. That stuff was reinterpreted or sped up. It's hard for me to tell. I think he recomposed it basically, but he used the sample that then he recomposed. I forget the technical term for it. So thank you does use the original piece of music from this song. Mr. Gab from Germany. Well, I imagine Germany's 1 hour ahead of me. Yeah, I mean, well, as I said, Shaves, it literally is identical because it is a reinterpretation of this piece of music that Tyler used. Although, I guess the context is your master's song is like a love song. It's a very heartfelt song about love where, you know, thank you is more like a breakup, a final breakup. So there is a recontextualization, but it's a nice sample. It's a nice song. I like Thank You a lot as well. How's it going, everyone? Sorry, did I miss something else here? I think someone else. Will I ever make a video about Berserk? I might do. Maybe one day. I had a loose script somewhere. I had a loose idea about doing one about Berserk influences. It's quite old. It was a pretty old idea. I don't know if I don't know if there was much weight on it, but it could be. I think the loose idea for me on it was to talk about all the random things that inspired Berserk or led to where it was in the beginning, like some of the more unorthodox ones, just like a bit of fun like that. Because, you know, Berserk looks a lot of references to different pop culture icons, classical paintings, music, etc. So it might. I don't know if there's much weight. I mean, it could be interesting, I guess. Alright, I think this is actually a loop of the song, so I might have to change it at some point. How's it going, Sophia? Yeah, we're gonna listen to some Yamasta tonight and maybe some other stuff. Is my hand better? Let's... how do I put it? It is, in a way, a lot more recovered. I don't think it's 100%. I will still definitely... well, to be fair, I'm probably going to wear this most of the time I'm drawing now anyway. But I still wear it pretty much all day. But I'm not in pain. Though it is a little sensitive when I'm not wearing the glove. But if I'm drawing, which I have been doing most of the day, yeah, I will be wearing the glove. But yeah, I think it's definitely much more recovered than it was. Not perfect, but recovered. Recovering still. It's getting better. Less of an issue. And there is a plan. I mean, I should probably tell this to chat. I have a plan that at some point I should probably buy a new tablet, a much bigger one. Which can be pricey, so, you know, donations, lol, are much appreciated. But yeah, I'm probably going to get a nice big, newer video tablet type thing. And start using that, because I think it would, just because the amount of stuff I've been doing lately, I think it would just strengthen my my efficiency, my speed, quality. I did a redraw earlier today in pencil of something I had drawn in Clip Studio Paint more roughly, and yeah, the difference between both of them was kind of night and day. I was like, yeah, all right, there's still a big difference between my tablet drawings, unless I spend a lot of time on them. My rough tablet drawings are more like paintings, well, you know, my pencil drawings are more like illustrations. It's actually kind of hard for me to see in this shot what's going on up here. Might have to zoom in at some point. Alright, I think the ear probably ends like there actually though. There we go. Yeah. It's not going too bad. Although it's really dark in this shot, I might have to zoom in a little bit at some point. How's it going? I'm not sure how to see your name. Is it Mace WB? Mace WB? I'm not sure how you say that, but how's it going? I'm just drawing until I fall asleep. Have I ever listened to Kona Yuki? I've been listening the fuck out of it at night for some reason. Kona Yuki. Japanese musician, I'm guessing? Did you ever try Procreate on an iPad? I mean, Procreate on an iPad does seem pretty cool, although the issue for me with an iPad, and I think this is what, there's like a lot of factors to it that make it more complicated than I can really be bothered with. Say for example, I would want to use my tablet for animating, and use a completely different program like Procreate, which I don't know if it has any animation stuff built into it. But like I'd have to export all my content from the iPad to my computer, which would be annoying. It wouldn't be connected to my computer, so I wouldn't be able to use it on live streams in that way unless I was live streaming from my iPad. I don't even know if you can do that. I guess you probably can. And then there's the factor of like the iPencil, which in itself is quite expensive and they are prone to breaking. On top of buying the iPad to begin with and then buying Procreate, so that's 3 different purchases for something I can't actually connect to my own PC to use. So yeah, it seems pretty good. Like from what I've seen of it, it seems like it's like a really cool program and everything. But just the amount of extra side steps to it makes it more annoying than I think it's worth for me personally. Than actually just buying a video tablet. I've been listening to Japanese jazz fusion bands, Band Dimension a lot recently. So looking at some great fusion in the vein of Cassiopeia, T-Square Prism. Check them out. Oh, that sounds nice. Maybe we'll put on some jazz fusion in a bit. Could give it a go. No, that's a little too strong. It's not the right brush. Alright, now with So I guess it'd be more like that, and then. Alright, that's going alright. I mean, we might all fall asleep at this point. Also, the saxophonist played on Mario Kart soundtrack. That's pretty funny. Blue Bamboo Music. Is there a particular Dimension album that we can slam on if we're talking about that sort of stuff? What would you recommend? I heard Cassiopeia helped inspire many early video games to OSTs. I mean, you'd have to ask the composers. T-Square definitely inspired certain tracks, I know that much. I think T-Square inspired some Mario music. Cassiopeia, I'm not really as sure. Because the problem... It's easy enough to say that, but I don't know. You'd have to really find the composers who actually confirm it. I mean, you could argue that for about YMO as well. That, like, they definitely had an impact. I mean, the only person that would probably, you know, disparage that is the Final Fantasy composer, who's not much of a fan by the sounds of it. Fourth Dimension, but you could start with First Dimension if you like. Should we have a look? First Dimension. Music. No, I'm getting some weird stuff instead. Japanese music, maybe? Oh, that's a naughty cover. I can't show that. You should have... could have warned me about that one, jeez. Okay. Yeah, okay, we've got it on. We've got the jazz fusion going now. I don't know, I think that was probably quick enough. YouTube's probably not going to strike me too hard for that one. I don't think they could read that hard. But you know, sometimes you gotta worry. Very jazzy, I'll give that. I'm gonna pull this up. It really went into the muscles on this shot. You can see that there, that bit. Oh yeah, I better put the shading on her nose as well. Oh, that's probably not the right kind of pattern. It might need to be more. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Actually, it looks like it might be a bit more, like, might be a bit more. Carve it like that. A bit like that. Probably not going to go too crazy on the detail on these. I think a good rough sketch will kind of get the point across I need in the thing. And I've got like 10 of these to do. So I don't think I probably won't color them unless I. No, I probably won't. I think I'll just go keep them just enough detail to make sense of the scenes. But maybe we'll do some auto coloring later and see how that feels. What is that? So she's next to this pillar. Okay, that's coming now. How's it going, chat? Lads, lol. It is not daytime for me. They actually collaborated with T-Square on one album of theirs, Ninth Dimension, I think. Whoa, the Ninth Dimension really brings it all full circle, eh? I was seeing again all the Bubblecrumb Crisis franchise. I don't know if it was legal reasons, but it's a shame. Parasite Doll was the last thing we saw of the series. I'm not really sure, if I'm honest. It may have just fell out of favour, you know, just didn't do very well. It's hard to say. It very much sits in its own era. But, you know, that's how it sometimes goes. How's it going, son, bro? Oh, might actually be able to make these even more. Yeah. Jesus Christ, what is it? Yeah, this is the error, I'll give it that. Yeah. What What kind of lineage would you do for a... would it be... Well, I guess it would be just like that. Up. Maybe just, yeah. Contours to the face, I guess, like that. Pull those eyes. So those eyes are also a bit quite... They're quite shaded themselves. Not as much as the top of the eyes there. So I guess we... It's kind of spooky, yeah. The angle might be slightly different there. But the triangle extend a bit as well. Where are we up? I think some of my friends play Final Fantasy 14, but I don't. I don't know, it sounds like it's came a long way since the beginning. How's it going, Hazel? Have a good nap. I guess we are listening to some jazz fusion while drawing some pictures until I fall asleep. This is only just a little too high intense for me to fall asleep there. I might need to go for something chiller in a second. This is harshing my vibe a little. It's a little too jammy for this late at night. How's it going, J-Cam? Basically, so what, 14's pissing you off and then this is chilling me out. Okay, maybe we need to get the chill music back in. I might change it in a second. Let's smooth out the chin, even out the angle. I don't think she has a weird pointy chin or anything. I think it's pretty smooth. This is pretty creepy. Yeah, I get the impression that Dimension isn't a very laid-back band, which is fair if that's what they want to be. Yeah, draw until you fall asleep. Let's go with it. This is alright. So yeah, I wanted to. Oh, hold on. You want to make sure dimples okay, clear. Maybe I went a little too far. Maybe I went a little too far in places. I mean, it's pretty on point. The feel, at least. I actually think we could probably carve away a bit more. Oh, there we go. That's the end of the song, so let's switch over. I have to. This makes the song. Alright. Okay. Let's go. There we go. There we go. Nice and chill. Nice and calm. I don't have, well, how would I put it? I don't dance with a choreography in mind. I'm more of a go with the flow kind of guy. I have my own moves. Let's put it that way. Final Fantasy XIV looks so fun. I wish I could tolerate anything again. Oh, the struggle, Hazel. The struggle. I mean, it seems like it is a what would be the word? It's very popular in Japan. I mean, didn't they make like a whole live action show about a dad like hanging out with his son in Final Fantasy XIV to try and reconnect with him? Like, there's a whole like Netflix show about it, and it's based on like a true story. But yeah, my friends do play 14, but I'm not an MMO kind of guy. I don't have the time for that, so it's never going to be for me. Do I like Dr. Stone? I've never read it. Wait a minute. I'm losing the line. What is the actual line of the face? I'm guessing it's more like that, but the shading is very particular on it. Like that. Maybe like that? Maybe a bit more. A bit like that, I think. Oh, here we go. Here's the banger. Oh yeah, no problem, Hazel. Yeah, tell me if the show's worth it. I've heard good things about it. It seems like a nice show. But it's probably a nicer way to experience Final Fantasy XIV than playing it, to be honest. Pointless. Oh. I'm studying video production, that's why I subscribe to you. You probably should not be subscribed to me out of everyone. My background's more in illustration, but I mean, I do use video production, but I'm not an orthodox person, probably to study. But I don't know, I guess it depends what you're into. Is this the program brush or is it from the community? It's just a standard real pencil is already built into Clip Studio Paint. It's one of the default brushes. Oh my god, Roog's theme. Yeah, Roog's theme is pretty fucking great. My name is Jeff. Hey, what did I just walk into? Who's this? I don't know, Jeff. You tell me who I am. Yeah, the vocals on this is pretty sweet. Alright, actually, alright. We're gonna take a 2-second break. If I wow. We're all gonna watch this video because I can't not think of this video every time. Every time I think of this song, I can't not think of this.
Tails, you're my realest friend.
It's my reaction.
Really? No, I love that big kush!
Fucking, I hate banner ads. Why do people add those to this video? It's terrible decision. The original comic is iconic, though this is the reanimated version, but the song really makes it. I think it's Maroon 5 mixed with Rouge's theme. Yeah, the dank kush. Where can you see my drawings? Probably on Twitter, I guess? It should be somewhere. How's it going, Monte Cristo? Yeah, this is a classic. This is a classic piece. This is a classic piece of Sonic lore right here. So every time we listen to the Rouge theme, we can never forget Sonic's true friend is only the dank kush. Though I suppose it's not canon. I'm pretty sure Sonic's the kind of straight edge guy, you know? He's very straight edge. But in this animation, it's very funny. The original comic is even funnier, to be honest. Just because, I don't know, there's like a face, like this face, I don't know. This redraw of the Tails face is fine and good, but the original Tails face is just so like mind crushed. It's such a beautiful picture. He is legit high on life, it is true. He is legit high on life. Where are we? Anyway, back to the picture. Tails, you're my realest friend. Really? No, it's actually Tip Studio Paint. That's my realest friend. Well, this song actually, Rouge's original theme is just so fucking good, so chill. Too bad playing it so it's terrible, but you know, I digress. I digress. I don't really like the Knuckles levels or the Rouge levels, but the music is always pretty good. You're back, are you? Oh, okay, you're not back. Alright, make up your mind, jeez. Yeah, Sonic Unleashed had some merits to it, I'll say that much. I'm more familiar with the Wii version, which was made by Dimps and not Sonic Team. But the music in Sonic Unleashed is probably one of the finest accomplishments in the series. And yeah, some of the art direction in that game as well, really great. Like the Chinese level, beautiful. The beginning levels in the windy windmills. What are you trying to draw? Some sort of imp vampire? It is a shot from the film Earwig and the Witch. Though I suppose the imagery would make me assume that it's kind of more of a vampire look, but it's got the low light of like a classic horror. I'm guessing the reference would be more towards like a universal horror type film with the lighting. you know, the low lighting, spooky face. Looks like a shot from Toy Story. I mean, they're both CGI, so yeah. I mean, I could see it being in Toy Story. Maybe like the first one. Like with the spooky room with all the toys. It is 11 o'clock at night. So I should probably turn this music down a little bit. There we go. How's it going, Ibex? Yeah, it's going okay. I'm just doing some drawing. You know, it was very hard to convince me to actually start the stream, so you better be thankful. Lol. But yeah, I think I'm getting there now. I'm in the place. Just gotta keep drawing, you know. I mean, I think this one's coming together quite well-ish, I say. I mean, these are more like rough reinterpretations and they're one-for-ones, but I may have to finish it properly later on. But I might, as long as the core stuff's down. We may move on to the next one in a moment. Make sure that facial shape probably should be rounder over here. Maybe, just maybe we cut a little bit into there. Yeah, that probably makes more sense. Monte Chris, where can I see your previously complete drawings? I post them all on Twitter. STEVEM on Twitter with 5 M's, or I think it would be Steve McCarthy 2 I's, or like Steve McCarthy the second. But there should be a link to my Twitter somewhere, if it be through the main channel. I might be able to post it in the chat. I don't know if you can answer this question, but I always wonder why CGI in kids' films look so good, but in anime it looks ass. Well, it's a really complicated question, and there's a lot of factors to it in terms of like development, in-house studios, and all that sort of stuff. I think one of the major reasons that you're going to get is that like anime is made on a weekly basis. So like, you know, a film like Toy Story or Monsters Inc. or how, you know, what's the one about meatballs? Raining Meatballs, or whatever it is, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Like these films by like Sony Pictures, like they're made for hundreds of millions of dollars over many years, like 2-3 years of development time, with a huge team of like resources and elements, where like CGI and anime is made on like a weekly basis with a team which sometimes isn't 100% trained. They're probably still learning. It's a very strained thing. A lot of you know, 3D development is also rigging and creating the models, and that can affect a lot of your time of development. So that can affect how much time you actually have to do actual modeling. Depends what they're doing. Are they doing motion capture? Are they doing it from scratch? What kind of resources they have worked with? Like how good are their boards? How good are their directing? How good is their schedule? There is a myriad of issues there that could be a huge issue depending. Oh yeah, Monte Cristo. Sorry, Monte Cristo. Technically, that isn't even the finished Lupin drawing. Yeah, there is a slightly more refined version done from there, which is more Kyoke Lupin. But you'll see it later on because I made it for a thumbnail for someone else. We'll get to that in the coming week. We'll get to that. But yeah, I adjusted it slightly to make it closer to Kyoke's Lupin style. So I increased the hair volume, moved the eyes around a bit, made them a bit larger, moved the mouth and ear, etc. I kind of adjusted it slightly. Oh yeah, water. Water? Do I think anime will ever get to that point? Yeah, I think that anime studios are getting better, like more potential to CGI. This is something I bring up in this new Goro video I'm working on, where I talk about these ideas a bit. I mean, we've seen a couple new things, like of last year, or the years, we've had a Doraemon film, a second Doraemon CGI film, looks pretty decent. We had the Dragon Quest film, looks pretty alright. Lupin's film, definitely very striking, really on point for a CGI film. I don't think it's impossible for this to happen. I think it's all about infrastructure, and also we have to consider that there are a lot of CGI teams within Japan that work on video games and do some very effective cutscene and technical stuff, including for people who worked on Sonic Unleashed. But they don't tend to work in the anime industry. I mean, they have at some points, but like obviously there's a difference between time and effort, resources that they will have when working on a more weekly schedule, but if they're working for a movie, it's a completely different thing. I mean, there was a story back in the day that the CGI team that worked on Sonic Unleashed, who also did some shorts, if I recall, they may have been working on a movie at one point, but that didn't happen, and we got the live action one instead, which I think, I don't know, it could have been kind of fun to see that CGI team work on an actual full Sonic production. Just because they really do know the source material quite well. They had it really down with that opening for Unleashed. Still holds up, and that's going back quite a bit. Do you? I'm not sure what this question is. Silent Voice creator has new anime coming out soon. I'm looking forward to. Do I like? I've never seen Silent Voice. Do you mean the manga creator, or do you mean the anime director when you talk about it? Well, I mean, the people who are making video game cutscenes are making video game cutscenes. I think it's really simple. I mean, how would I put this bluntly? The video game cutscene people get paid a lot more than people in the anime industry usually. So, I don't see, maybe a lot of them don't see utility in it. But I think some of them actually do work in the industry though. But yeah, like you'll get paid a lot more from the video game industry, definitely. Who's making the new show? What company? But yeah, I mean, a lot of it is to do with, booking and resources and such. If your company doing video game cutscenes is working on video game cutscenes, they probably don't have time to work on a weekly anime, or any anime for that factor, unless they're being paid quite well. It's not their area. Like, there's a difference between making a 3-minute short for the beginning of a video game and making 2-hour movies, or 20 minutes a week. Brian's Base? I don't know what you mean by Brian Base. I don't know them personally. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Maruta Mashihiko? What? Murata Masahiko? Is that who's working on it? What is the worst paid work an artist could take on? Is animation the bottom of the back? Well, this really depends. This is not a question of like the worst. I think the worst is when you get paid nothing in exposure. That's the worst work any artist can take up. You're being, because it can really depend. Like if you're a salary animator, or if you're like a more high-end animator, you're gonna probably get paid pretty well. I mean, last week we had an animator in the chat who said they had a salary, just gotten a salary with Mappa, I believe, and they were getting paid 35 grand a year for part-time work at Mappa, which is unbelievable. That's a pretty good rate if you ask me for part-time. That's a yearly salary for part-time. It's more than most people's full-time salaries. But yeah, I mean, if you're the bottom, if you're like right at the bottom of the anime industry, you're getting paid below minimum wage for working 7 days a week. But I don't know, like there's a lot of factors, like it can vary a lot. Even within the industry, like I say, if you're like, depending on who you're working for, what you're working on, how high profile you are, like I mean, high profile talent, animator wise, in the anime industry is like really sought after. So if you can actually get to the point where you can fight for your wages, you could probably make a decent enough amount. But it's getting to that point that most don't. Well, alright, Hono, I think it's really important to know that Mappa has really poor, well, Mappa has a lot of really poor work ethics, to put it bluntly, that will probably become more predominant as the year goes by, because they're just picking up way too many shows, and they just don't have the workers to do them right now. Speaking to people who've actually worked on Attack on Titan, it sounds like it's a complete shit show behind the scenes. Some of the episodes, maybe some of the episodes, the newer ones, but better handled. But like the ones I heard about, like it sounded like an absolute nightmare. Of just like, yeah, people really straining themselves. They don't have they didn't have a good pre-production on that one either. So it does make me worry for things like Chainsaw Man in the future and other productions that they're planning to do next year. That's a lot on their plate, and that's not going to go well for those at the bottom. Though yeah, Mappa does have some very successful shows running right now. How do I know so much about anime? You just read stuff. I mean, I wouldn't even say I know that much, because to really know a lot, you probably have to work there, or you just have to be directly in communication with a lot of people firsthand. If you were like a journalist or an animator yourself. And I mean, I do a little bit of animation, but I think I can only read what I can get secondhand most of the time, unless I actually talk to someone who has first-hand experience. But you just got to read stuff, or like have a background in it, I suppose, can also help. But it's not going to be perfect, because the production styles of the anime industry is quite different than a more Western approach. But, it's kind of my job to look this stuff up. Because it's what I do. Alright, I might move that left eye or right eye, I guess. This probably could go down a bit. And then we'll move on to the next piece, I reckon. I'll have to do some cleanup on it later, but well, maybe we can. Maybe look at the hand first, and then we'll end it. Oh yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen seems to have some nice animation going for it. Worst animation studio? I don't know, I wouldn't want to say. I think that's a little bit derogatory to say, because an animation studio is really only as good as its staff and its production schedule, and its efficacy. And a lot of positions within the industry have some pretty bad reputations despite some of their glowing reviews. You know? Like, I was hearing the other day, someone mentioned about staff from Trigger not getting paid on Primar? Yeah, staff just not getting paid because they ran out of money and it didn't make as much as the film was supposed to. So the production, people at the committees and all that, they took their money and the animators didn't get anything. Or certain animators didn't get paid, which is pretty fucked up, really, when you think about it, especially with a studio like Trigger that has a more international and Patreon backing sort of situation, if that is true. But that's what I've heard. Or, there was obviously the story 2 years ago about Madhouse, how their staff, their PAs and a couple of their staff members were working ridiculous hours of overtime without getting paid. That was a pretty bad story, especially when they became hospitalized and they became very ungraceful. There's 4C, who also had a very similar story, I think the same year, where they weren't paying their staff members on the Ocean film they were doing. There was apparently a lot of crunch, and it was like a really unethical way of working on the film. Didn't go too well. Certain members had to literally get unions out and trying to sue the company to get their wages. So even good studios can have really poor practices. So I think it's complicated. Yeah, the Nasu films are pretty great, Persona. I do really like the Nasu films. Made by Kitaro Kosaka himself, who I also just recently did a video on. Kitaro Kosaka's latest film, his debut live action films, really, well, not live action, sorry. His debut anime, his debut anime film is really good. Which was actually made at Madhouse. Although most of the staff were quite fresh. Because there just wasn't enough staff to go around. This one's too far. This isn't far enough. Wait, who said that one? Yeah, Blue Bamboo Music. There's a whole host of problems with Japanese working culture in general. I think it actually goes much further than just Japanese work culture, because I think these processes I'm talking about aren't exclusive to Japan in any way. If you ever looked at any behind the scenes from the video game industry, you know it is just as bad. In fact, some may argue that Japanese video game industries, well, it's a little bit debatable. I've heard certain stories that Japan, in the video game industry, at least now, treats their staff better than most of the anime industry. But their deadlines are a lot more liquid. Oh, my camera just died, did it? Oh, I guess it wasn't plugged in. Alright, I think, am I back? Can you hear me? Well, that's me, Sleepy Boy. Sleepy Boy's camera died, but now it's working again, I guess. These fingers probably need a lot of work, but it's probably not the time to do it, to be honest, this late at night. I need to really break down the shapes, because fingers are annoying. I think it's supposed to be more like that. I think it's also, it's hard for me to tell from this. I think it's, yeah, maybe like that. Oh, that'll probably do for now. Is it Mihail? Mihail? Thank you, Mihail. I hope you're having a nice night. Well, Mihail, I think that was the point with this Satoshi Kon one. I'm glad people clicked it and watched the whole thing. We're intrigued enough, I suppose. I guess that's the YouTube way. Gotta get people intrigued to watch stuff. And I've seen the analytics, I can tell it works. I'll take it, Mihail. I'll take it. Maybe I should be in the wow. To be fair, I tend to be in my videos more these days because it's easier to shoot. I suppose your con video was brilliant. Yeah, I'm glad people liked it because it really fucked up my hand. So at least there's something that came out of it. Be a real bugger if it didn't work. If no one ended up watching it. And I also screwed my hand up at the same time. I mean, my hand is a lot better than it was, but it has been a long time. I finished that video in August. But I don't know, if I get this new tablet as well, and I've got this, my brace, my new tablet, I think that will make it a lot easier for me to use more of my shoulder, less of my wrist. So I think a lot of those factors will definitely improve those issues. And I'm generally better with it now. I know how to protect myself better. Right, I don't think she's actually hitting there, is she? How's it going, Mr. Daniel Strait? I hope you're having a good night. I'm just doing some drawing till I fall asleep. Do you think your videos would be a good introduce to people? Sorry. Do you think? I'm guessing you mean I think it would be a good introduction for people for anime. I mean, I try and make them accessible, and I do have friends that aren't really into anime that much that say they watch them without any issue, or they've watched my videos in the past without any issue. Like they go in and they seem to like. I try and keep people on the level where, like, everything that happens in the video. Say for example the Satoshi Kon video. By the end of watching the Satoshi Kon video, you probably know more about Satoshi Kon than most people who were fans beforehand. So like we went from 0 to 100. Like you'll come out like, you know, without needing to know anything at the beginning. The shoulder of your figure should be a bit higher. Yeah, probably. Probably should be closer to the ear. My eyes are a bit gone. Yeah, my eyes not working the best tonight. I'll probably clean this up in the morning, but you know, it is what it is. I did say I'm a sleepy boy. There you go, that probably feels a bit more correct. No, that job was correct more. Yeah, for now I think this frame will do. I'll call this frame 1. And we will come back to it later. When reviewing anime, would you recommend following a certain structure? Not necessarily. I think you would have to find the approach you're more comfortable with, because I don't necessarily think there's a structure that is an end-all be-all for that stuff, and I don't think you should let anyone tell you there is. Like, I don't think there should be like a Mal review where it's just like, well, now we have to talk about the graphics, now we have to talk about the audio, now we have to talk about the characters. Like, you kind of find the rhythm on your own, like, of what you want to talk about and how you want to structure that. For me, tends to be what feels the most natural to go into the next segment. That's how I usually think about it. Hona, how can you be so wrong and yet so wrong at the same time? I have made stuff on niche stuff, but like some of my biggest videos are all on like Miyazaki films. Miyazaki is the most mainstream creator. You know? I think it's fine. Like, if you want to show people videos on Miyazaki, I also don't really think it matters like where you start in anime. I don't think it matters if it's niche or mainstream. If the video interests you, it interests you, you know? But yeah, my biggest videos, like I have a whole selection on Studio Ghibli and their origins, and I think that stuff is incredibly mainstream. Oh, hey Billy, how's it going? You sent my channel to a friend who only watches lesbian romance. Why did you send it to my channel then? I've never covered one, I don't think. Do I know any books about anime production history? Yeah, they're all in Japanese. I don't think any of them are translated. Unless you mean like, I mean, there's like Anime A History by Clement, which is kind of like a more of a second-hand account of some of these events, sourcing a couple of Japanese books. then there would be like Miyazaki's translated books, like A Starting Point and Turning Point, which will talk kind of about the history of anime production from the perspective of how Miyazaki went through some of it. Though they are like more just ramblings from him as a person opposed to that. But a lot of the actual stories about that stuff were never really translated. They were done by like Otsuka, like his mentor, who has like several books on that sort of stuff. I can't really think of any off the top of my head who are actually properly translated. But there probably is one. I don't recall. You know, it's late. I mean, he might enjoy them. He may enjoy being a Hono. Yeah, Saria did talk a lot about the Yuri stuff. That's probably a good thing to send them if they're interested in that sort of thing. Laughing my ass off and never reacting in that account. Oof. Sorry, Hona. No way out for you there. You have to come to the source. Alright. Let's move on to the next frame then. Could probably still do work, but I'll clean up tomorrow. Oh shit, I don't know which one's which. Oh, that's Angry Grommet. Monty, I don't use bitmap or vector, I don't think. I'm not really a fan of vectors, so I don't use those. I mean, these are like raster pixels. I don't know if they would be considered bitmap. I actually don't know if I needed that one or not. Okay, let's do that one. kind of a complicated situation. I really don't like vectors in general. Vectors have a certain way of acting, and there is technically a vector mode within Clip Studio Paint where like you can use vector brushes or vector layers, though they can be like really laggy because vectors are obviously they're more powerful, let's say, and they have a certain feel to them because of their like the way they operate. I'm more of a pixel guy, I guess. Yeah, I think it has to do with texture and line control and such like that. Vectors are for clean shit. I don't really like that sort of thing. Thoughts on Sunrise staff or the studio as a whole? It's a really big studio with a really long history. I don't know if I could give you a sufficing point of view on it. All I know is recently one of the producers, well I guess in the last couple of years, one of the producers that fella make his indie film in the studio. Was it Propria? Or Purpurea? That was made within the Sunrise studio. They gave him a little room to hang out in. He used to work at Sunrise. Sunrise is cool though, I guess. Kind of. I don't know too much about their work culture. But you know, they keep making Gundam. That's what they do. So if we say round cap. I'm like an actor, am I, Mihail? Maybe. You know, so I once went to a party. I don't know if I'd call it a party. I'm not really much of a party person. I went to a friend's house, and he was having a gathering. And I met one of his roommates for the first time, and they said I had the. What did they say? This is like really funny. They said something along the lines like I had the demeanor maybe the demeanor of like a Hollywood actor or something, or like a man of prestige in the way I walked into the room and sat down, which was a very it was a very strange thing to hear someone say. I mean, I appreciate the compliment, I guess, but it was very specific and particular. But yeah, I thought it was funny. Can you combine vectors and raster? Not really. Well, I wouldn't advise it because it gets complicated, right? You technically probably could, but is my mic crackling? Is it? Did it just start doing it now, Billy? One two one two. Is it anyone else or is it just Billy? Okay, is it really bad? Give me 1 second. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to refresh the stream. Right, 1 second. Alright, how am I sounding now? Am I back? Wait, I can probably hear it on my phone. Alright, how am I sounding now? Am I back? I mean, I sound normal on my phone, so I'm assuming I sound okay. Yeah, just keep an eye on it. If the audio starts cracking again, tell me about it. To be honest, if it happens again, I'm probably just going to end the stream and I'll start again tomorrow. I think it's interference with different programs. It sometimes happens. Yeah, it's complicated to explain. It might be the effect of my camera like dying a little while ago, and then that like may have messed with the audio a little bit later on because of the interference between the two of them. It's a whole thing. Sometimes that happens. No, it tends to be devices and OBS and them interfering with each other. Good to know, Laura. Good to know it sounds alright. But yeah, keep an eye on it for everyone. Keep an eye on it for me, everyone, just in case, because it happens randomly sometimes. How was my day? It's okay. I've just been drawing all day, I guess. Let's see. It's very specific, like with the red round shades and the beard. It reminds me personally of Brad Pitt and Bradley Cooper for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm some white guy with shades and a beard. Though, I have heard, I don't know, one of my friends once said that from certain angles, he said I reminded him of Brad Pitt. I don't know if that might have been before I had a beard. Though I don't know if Brad Pitt usually has a beard or not. It was a very flattering remark, I guess. I think. I don't know. I guess it would be. I mean, Brad Pitt's, he's an attractive man. There we go. We have cat. Not my actual cat though, just this cat I'm drawing. I'm trying to get into Berserk. Why is Volume 1 so expensive? I bought my Volume 1 of Berserk like 10 years ago in America because you couldn't buy it in England at the time. If I had to assume, it's because it's been out of print for a long time, or if the only version that you'll get nowadays is like a hardback, maybe. Oh, you mean the bottom left? Oh, I think it's just a GIF that plays, that I forgot to turn off. It is like a Doom Guy-esque GIF, a remnant of some playing of Doom I did once upon a time. Although with my wrist, it's not like something that I can do much anymore. So what were you saying, Billy? Can I do an anime review of Starship Troopers? No, it's not an anime. I cannot review. I don't think there's much I could say about Starship Troopers that hasn't already been said. How you doing, Billy? Anyway, how's life? It's been a couple days. Yeah, I mean, £10 isn't so bad. Though I don't know, isn't there a way of reading it online or something? Isn't there like a way to stream reading Berserk? I don't know, something like that. About doesn't Viz have like a website where you can just read it? Is it Viz? I don't know who's publishing it in not America. Mihail, what happened to my wrist? Carpal tunnel syndrome. What I've had since August, which came from the Satoshi Kon video. Oh, you shaved your head, did you, Billy? Billy boy, you're a shaved boy now. You're Agent 47, Agent Billy 7. You're Jason Statham now, I believe. That's good to know. Yeah, I did a lot of animation for the Satoshi Kon video, among other things, and we did some damage to the rest of it in the production of it. Unfortunately, because there was a set deadline, I had a lot to do, and I had to work through a lot of pain. The Japanese car bubble and how it impacted the anime industry. I have no idea how you'd market that, quite frankly, but it would probably be a topic that would come up in a different. Well, it would probably just come up through relations of random videos. But it's kind of complicated, It is a bit complicated because, I mean, if you can look at the numbers, anime productions increased in the 90s after the bubble burst, so there was more anime coming out. Although, if you're not... One of the things you'll notice probably about the prosperous times of the 80s in Japan is that there were productions that were released or made that were sometimes really out there and just kind of thrown at the wall, basically, and sort of like, why did they think this was a good idea? And especially in the OVA area, because the rental market was pretty big, and you could just throw whatever you wanted out there and see if it would stick. And that wasn't quite the same in the 90s, I guess. But the more technical side of it, you probably need to talk to a professor or a historian, because I wouldn't be able to talk about it firsthand. Some of that stuff is like, inside baseball. I mean, I guess it wasn't in vain, but I do think if it taught me anything, it's about working smarter, not harder, I guess. You have to be careful with that sort of stuff, because the long-term issues with hurting your wrist probably will hurt you more than a video coming out slightly later. But yeah, it is what it is. There's nothing I can really do to stop that now. What it's done is done. I mean, my hand is a lot better than it once was. Yeah, I mean, I get asked about the wrist like every stream. I mean, it's probably nice, I suppose. People are somewhat curious or concerned. Let's see. On the corner for a second. How's it going, Jamie? Just drawing until I can't anymore. How it be. Just the walls are kind of warping around it. That was more complicated to like portray in this way. My streams are saved, they're just on Patreon only. They're archived there. Not everyone on my channel needs to see my streams. If they want to see them, they can be a patron. They're all archived on that. Yeah. My channel isn't a live stream channel, really, though I do it on occasion. I mean, I do it on a weekly basis just to sort of hang out and do some stuff. But, this isn't a live stream channel by default. So it's more of a community thing if they want them. What do you want about an anime archive? I think there is an archive of old Japanese films you can find that has a bunch of older, like, pre-50s anime on it, like little short movies that you probably could find somewhere, if I recall. I don't recall what the website's called, but I don't think it'll be that hard to find. There we go. I saw a video I abandoned because there need to be more research than I anticipated. No, that's never happened. Because how would you put it like this? I wouldn't start a video without knowing what I needed to do to make it. So there are definitely projects where I know that it would take a lot of research to do it. So like I would have to pick a really specific time to do it, or I'd need to be ready for it. There are definitely topics that seem overwhelming and are they're not topics you just pick up. Because there's a lot of like prep there, and there's stuff that you'd probably want to do more research into first because the research would be half the battle. Because the research would come before you actually have a structure. So I would know that stuff before I even start thinking about doing a video production. Okay, that's coming together a bit. Probably have to just flip it though, save me some time because it's too patterny for me to get exactly correct on both sides. Hello, cat. What do you want? Come on then. Come on. What? You sitting down? I mean, Mihail, yeah. Anime series directors are also a thing, so you know you can look that up. You can also look up studios. You know that you can look up particular animation studios that you like and see what else they've released. Maybe your own metric, if you're Mihail, because your metric can be different than other people. So maybe figure out what you like and what you don't like, and sort of use that as a metric to sort of look towards things that you might want. Like you can literally watch anything you want at any time. There's no barrier. You don't have to think of it per genre or anything stupid like that. Genres are just the pigeonholes anyway, so just find stuff you like. Follow the rabbit hole, as they say. Yeah, my cat must have known. She must have known we were drawing a cat. That's why she's here. She's jealous. Why are you drawing another black cat? That isn't me. A bit fucking rude, isn't it? That's what she's thinking. Right. So. I think I've run out of music. Let's see. Oh no, is it just really quiet? Maybe I'll turn it up a little bit. There we go. That's nice. there probably needs to be more of this on the lower side as well. And the cat's higher up in the frame. Do I need to just... Why don't I draw the other ones? I accidentally put it on a different layer. Oh. Did I draw them on a guide? How did you even draw stuff on a guide? That's weird. Right then, well, so move that up too. There we go. Turn this up a little more. There we go. Okay, you happy over there, right, you can? Oh shit, yeah, I'm in the wrong layer again. Ugh, classic. Probably fix this a little bit here. A little bit of cat. Oh, more cat. Oh god, I'm getting tired now. Right, go in there a bit. we go. How many anime do I think I watched? I don't know. I don't keep up with the numbers, to be honest. I don't think it really matters. I think some people get a little too caught up on that. Like everything in your life needs to be on a checker box. Like I don't know. Just couldn't imagine. Couldn't imagine like watching every film and being like, well, that's another one to put on my tick box. That's the 44,678th film I've ever watched in my life. What an accomplishment. Good night, Billy. I hope you have a good one. We should go out for a walk again sometime. Tell me when you're available. Hey JT. Yeah, I do stream. Usually on a Wednesday or Sunday. I just sit down and chill. Right now, well, I'll probably be streaming tomorrow as well because I have lots of drawing to do for this new video. So I'm gonna stream it. Why not? Moral support, I guess. Pfft. That's good, Billy. Alright. Have a good one, alright? With your Jason Statham head. Yeah, like you said, Monte Cristo, I've completed every... That's the thing though, Mel isn't even like a complete list anyway, it's just what they know exists. I think it's fair to think that there's a lot of like random stuff that came out in the 80s that probably never got very well archived. You might be able to. I wouldn't think it'd be worth it, but you might be able to. I think the issue is that they continue to add more every year. I mean, I wouldn't waste your time. Where is that coming up? Oh, got that. Yeah, there probably would be a time when it would be impossible to watch absolutely everything, and I don't think it's really something that is a good way of spending your time anyway. I mean, you could be dedicated towards it, I suppose, but I just think that, you know, in your elderly days, you're probably not going to think, man, I'm really glad I spent 70% of my life watching every anime just so I could do it instead of spending time with my friends and family. That was a really good decision I made. Oh, guess my little lamp was getting low on energy. Yeah, your brain probably would turn to mush. I mean, I think you can appreciate something without watching every single thing. I think it's a bit of a fallacy to consider, you know. I don't know, I just wouldn't go to a film critic and be like, oh yeah? Well, how many films have you watched, huh? Is it 1,000,000? Like me? No? Well, your opinion is invalid. That's not to say you shouldn't watch as much as you want, although I sometimes think maybe the anime fans are a little limited in their scope, just because, you know, anime doesn't live inside a vacuum, and a lot of the things that influence anime come from outside of anime. If that be like different cultural standards of Japanese stuff, or actual live action movies, or animation from different countries that aren't Japan. And you kind of are missing the forest for the trees by just watching simply one style of animation. If you truly want to if you want to appreciate a medium, you probably want to have a broader brush with the way you the way you indulge in it, you know. I mean, is the question, how do you find anime to watch, or how do you find a place to watch it? Which is the question? I mean, you can find anime to watch in all manner of ways, you know. Like I think someone said Mal, which I think is fine if you're just looking for like basic stuff. Mel is okay. I wouldn't read any of their reviews. Avoid the comment sections and all that. But Mel has a good archive of like lots of stuff that is recorded. But I don't know, like I think there's so much out there, it's not really very hard to find stuff to watch. But like I'm more of the kind of guy that would do it by looking at different directors I like or studios and go that way. Then like go, oh well, this Mel entry has 1,000,000 users and it's the most popular show on Mel at this current point. I better watch it. I don't really give a shit about that sort of stuff. I mean, what Sunbro says is pretty fair. I think that most people might just go on an anime list to sort of get the vibe of something that's coming out, I guess, if it's current. I mean, Mihail, I assume, considering you're here, you watch people who make videos about anime, right? Which would make me assume that if you watch videos where people talk about anime, that you perhaps maybe get recommendations from those videos or see stuff that they talk about and go, oh, I'd like to try that out. That would be my gathering, right? That, like, in some way, that is what this cycle or this circle is kind of, you know, to some degree, that's what people use it in a way. Like, oh, okay, they covered this thing, that looks like something I'd like to check out. I mean, there's always friends too. I mean, maybe you have some friends or different people in circles and they have their favourite shows that you might want to check out so you can talk to them about them. Yeah, I mean, that can help too, just randomly stuff. Maybe you want an impulse thing. You just find something randomly. I don't really think it's particularly hard to find something to watch. Usually it's just finding something that you really enjoy. That's more the trouble. Though it depends how picky you are, I guess. Yeah, I know who DJ Okinawa is, though I'm not really feeling that vibe right now. I'll probably put something else on. Let's see. What else am I going to put on?
These days, many people are wondering, could this be the right time to invest? As eToro traders...
There we go, that should do for a little bit. So I think that's the most popular or reverse or something within the genre. I'm a music nomad. I'm everywhere. I don't think there's like a specific style. Michal, I think you get too tied up with what genre people like. I don't think genre is really that important over just preferences. So I suppose genres are preferences, maybe? I don't know. I don't really think in that way. I don't go, I only listen to this genre or whatever. I mean, if you like popular shows, then I guess you could just look up popular shows and see if you like them. I don't know, like, popular isn't like a trend, because things are popular for very different reasons. Sometimes very strange stuff is popular, and like if I looked at all the most popular anime on like my anime list, they may not even be the ones that have sold the most, they're just the most popular on that online space. I mean, Cat Soup's kind of like, you know, art house. It's like an art house anime. you know, short art house. It's kind of just like the author's work, isn't it? It's more to do with, it's very much that author's intent. It's kind of weird, a little bit funny. It doesn't really fall neatly into a genre, because again, genre conventions are really only... Here's the thing about... Again, here's the thing about genres, like they are only lines in the sand to define stuff to make them more easily organizable. They don't necessarily hold very strong when you start scrutinizing them. So when you start throwing in stuff that doesn't necessarily apply to genre conventions, it can be a bit mushy about what it even is, which is why I don't think those are things that are very important to your enjoyment of something. Like alright, here's an example. I don't watch sports. I don't give a shit about sports. But you know what my favourite anime is? Ashton no Joe. And Ashton no Joe 2. Boxing anime. I don't care, I don't give a shit about sports. But that doesn't matter in the actual factor of if it's a good show. Like currently I've been watching a couple episodes of Cross Game. Cross Game's about baseball. You don't even play baseball in England. I don't know any of the rules of baseball. I don't know anything about it besides what I've seen pop culturally. And yet I'm very much enjoying this show. And it's not because it's a baseball show, it's because it's a good show. I like the characters, I like this. There's more to a show than just like the genre conventions that it stands by. Hello, Thomas. We're just drawing. I don't think there's much more to it. Wait, am I on the right thing? Why is it not? Why is it not doing what I want? Oh, because there's like a grid there or something stupid.
They are out there,
Oh, god damn it.
waiting to be discovered. Some of them are big, and some of them are small. But that's the thing with ideas. They don't just come to you. To find them, you have to move. Kia, movement that inspires.
Honestly, Mihail, I'm still not sure what you're trying to say. Because something that's the most popular or reverse or something isn't really a very strong definition. Yeah, I mean, shonen kind of just means young boy magazine. Well, that's kind of how it's used. Complicated and all that, you know. Here we go. I need to merge some of these together again. Messy. Merge selected. Oh dear. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Where'd the pen go? How's it going? Wait. Sorry, I've got to make sure I'm actually saying this correct. Is it Isa, right? It is Isa? Or is it Isa? Isa? I assume it'd be Isa. How's it going? Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at the most popular in a genre, or like the most acclaimed in a genre to see if you like aspects of it, I mean, that's fine if that's an easy way to start. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, the cat is here. The real cat is here. I don't think she's in frame. Is she not in frame? I can't see myself. She's like right here. But there is another cat there. Like, horror movies aren't critically acclaimed, so you'd look for the acclaimed horror movies especially, right? It really depends, because there definitely are horror films that are critically acclaimed. I think horror as itself gets a particularly bad rap because a lot of popular horror movie... Alright, so this tends to be how it works, you know, back in the day, right? Horror films tend to be really cheap to make, so you can put out a lot of shovelware, and they tend to do very well in the box office, just because people go to them to be like spooked or whatever. So like it's kind of like easy money back, and you'll see a lot of acclaimed directors tend to start in the horror genre because there's so many going around, but it's very easy to get your start in that area, and that's how it used to be. Things are a little different now, but you can see it, like a lot of indie directors start like maybe in horror and then move into some more bigger conventional stuff. Even like the director of Shazam, right, started in like horror films, and you know, the Saw directors, like how they started in horror films, smaller scale to get into Saw and then beyond. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff happening in horror, if it's acclaimed or not. It just depends if you're into it or not. Such a huge umbrella. Yeah, old cheap horror movies are a whole vibe, and I think it's also important to categorize what we mean by acclaimed, I guess, as well, because oh, for fuck's sake, this fucking ad machine here. Yeah, what we mean by like acclaimed, because back in the day, a lot of horror films didn't get really very respected by the general critical audience of the time, because they were kind of dismissed just by their pure aspects, unless they were very specific ones. Like some ones got a bit nicer treatment. But that means like critical re-examinations of these genres happen much later on, because at the time they're usually shoved to the side, and then we look at them more from a further re-examination. So for example, like Italian giallo films, which I imagine at the time were considered more like, you know, trashy stuff, but now, you know, there tends to be more talk about like what they did for the genre and what they were about and how influential they were and such like that. Alright, it's getting quite late. I'm gonna go to the toilet, and then when I come back I'll probably finish this drawing and then end the stream, and then we'll restart it in the morning. Okay. Bloody Muscle Builder from Hell recently. That sounds like that sounds like a really interesting film. Bloody Muscle Builder from Hell. What is it about? When did it come out? That sounds like there's such a story in that title. Would be nice if they catch up to the trailer. She's just laying over here. Wait a minute. Let me see. Can we see her? She's kind of in frame, isn't she? Maybe I'll adjust. Oh, you might be able to not be able to see her anymore. Oh shit. Well, the cat is here. She is here, but she is sleeping. Oh, this is a banger. Flip button here. Cut and paste, leave outside order, shrink. Oh. Alright, I'm gonna probably. There we go. Filmed in 1995, edited in 2005, completed in 2009. Whoa, what a released in 2012. That's amazing. That's quite the history. Look at that. Decades just to make this one film happen. That has a lot of production hell. Yeah, it was a surprise that it was finished more than a decade. But it was worth the wait. Oh, is it a recommendation then? That does sound interesting. There's such time scale to it all. Yeah, this is Taiko Inuki. Let's see, add, transform, retransform. Not canvas, but transform just the layer. Yeah, okay, that'll do for now. There's a bit of darkness in the corners, but we could probably work with that. We could add that in. Will actually work now. God, is it actually better the other way around? I don't know. Okay. That'll do for now. What's it doing this? I need to remove these. Alright, move that work now.
How's your day been?
Okay. Actually, 12 minutes past 11 was...
44 Troopy draws.
Lovely.
There's a winner every minute on Jackpot Joy.
Alright. Alright, JT. That's good to know. Yeah, what was it? Thanks for your videos that pushed me to watch all of Kawajiri's catalogue. Yeah, I think I've covered most of it now. I'm still meaning to watch the X TV show that he worked on. It's the only TV show he directed. I thought it might be quite interesting to see. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad you enjoyed. I remember hearing about that development hell in the late 2000s. I didn't know the project was completed. There's hope for the film school friends yet. Yeah, I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. There must be a really fascinating story. I bet the DVD probably has a really good behind the scenes feature about all that stuff. That's the kind of, you know, the good story stuff. Alright. Frame cap, that's what it's going to be called. Let's go back to here. I think I'm going to call it quits in a second. I'm just going to save these all. Oh, the light's gone. Yeah, it's a bit late. It's pretty late here. The cat. Yeah, there's one last thing I need to do on this one. Let me move the ear slightly. Just adjust this slightly. Oh. Yeah, okay, there we go. Save that. Close that program. I've lost my light because it's oh, okay, you can see the cat nicely. Just, you know, she's doing her thing. Alright. Oh. Chat is very slow on the website. I need to go on my channel to figure out where. Alright, let's have a look. Where are we? Yeah, fancy shirt. Yeah, it is a bit fancy. It's like a silk. It's a silk. Thanks, Hazel. Just noticed how nice your shirt is. Looks really styling for the stream. Yeah. I was wearing this today because of it had to match with the video. Oh. Shush, shush. How rude, interrupting me. Yeah, like you can. The jacket too. Vanity basically just a JoJo character. Is our local sexy dad, yeah. Very dadcore. I am pretty dadcore, yeah. More like Steve. What? No, STEVEM is my real name, officially. Felix. Felix isn't a real name, that's a cat's name, dude. What are you on about? We are listening to Taiko Onuki. But maybe we'll flip. Maybe we'll listen to... Oh, cat's leaving. Oh, there you go, okay. Bye, cat. Maybe we'll put on... We'll put on the classic. We'll put on the one everyone knows. convenience of a product, or like the convenience of a program, is really more about what do you like, and do you enjoy using it, or do you feel comfortable using it. I think comfort can be a lot of the strength in a program, as being, you need to be able to feel confident in what you're using it for, and that you feel you can get what you want out of it. Yeah. If it be Blender, Clip Studio Paint, Photoshop, Paint Tool Sai, what's that one from Mac? What's the Mac one called? Procreate. So what are you saying, Daniel? It took me years to move to Photoshop. For years I was using one of those free generic photo editing programs. I mean, they can be pretty alright. Some people stand by them. I'm probably more comfortable in Photoshop at this point, though I don't really like Adobe practices, so like if I could move into something else I probably would. I think Affinity is about, which is a lot cheaper if you're, paying for these programs. Wink, wink, wink. Yeah, that's probably oh, Cat, you already back? Why are you back already? What did you... What are we going to do with you? What are you going to do with you? Oh, it came with the digital camera. That's fair. I mean, if it does the business, it does the business. The cat is probably telling me to come to sleep with her. Yeah, that's true. How much water do we have left? You coming? You sit? Sometimes I really wonder if you are camera shy. Oh, I can sleep now. The cat can stream instead. She can do the business. All right, I'll fall asleep and the cat can be my replacement. All right, cat. Be easy on the shirt. Be easy on the shirt. It's silk. I don't want you ripping my shirt up. Get your claws off my shirt. Off the shirt. No claws. Off the shirt. Off the shirt. How much shirt is there? Alright, there you go. There you go. Let's see. JT pirated Sony Vegas when I was in high school to make those Call of Duty epic clips. I got comfortable with it. Premiere felt alien when I tried to move to it. Yeah, though I think there is definitely some validness. I mean, Hazel I think did something similar recently. She moved from Sony Vegas into Premiere, and I think she's found a lot of utility in Premiere that wasn't in Vegas before. So sometimes there is definitely utility in moving programs, even if it isn't comfortable at first, when they actually have assets that you can't do in the other one. But it depends what you're making. I mean, I think Audacity's okay. I prefer Audition because Audition has a lot of features that are very useful. But I used to use Audacity for many years. You're looking like an evil nemesis about to rule the world with a fancy costume and a cat on your lap. Yeah, that's me. I'm a James Bond villain at this point. Or maybe a JoJo villain. I don't know. I imagine with the green, the flower motif going on here, all the things here. I would have a stand. What would my stand be called? I don't know. The Fever. And I'd walk into the room, give a weird monologue about anime. I'm sure, unfortunately. And that would be it. You've decided you want to sit here, do you know? Is this how it be? Alright, cat. You got a minute or two. I'll just finish my water. Okay. Alright, I think it's time to go to bed. So I'll probably be saying my goodbyes now. The cat has made her seat. So I'll probably drag her to bed. Alright. I'll say my my farewells, I guess. And figure out Alright, oh yeah, everyone. Before I go, I should say, on the 5th, I think on the 5th, hopefully, the 5th, my new Goro video should come out. But there's plenty more to draw before then. Glad to hear, Spence, glad to hear. Yeah, so on the 5th, hopefully the Goro video will come out on the same day that it comes out on HBO Max. By the end of the week, we should also have the Cagliostro video coming out. So there'll be 2 videos coming out. Tomorrow, probably in the afternoon for me, 12 p.m. GMT, whatever, Great British Time, whatever it be. Green, you know what I'm saying here. I'm probably going to keep streaming and keep drawing tomorrow, and just keep going, and finish drawing a bunch of stuff. So I may go for a long stream tomorrow as well. So yeah, that's what's happening. We may draw some more tomorrow. In the afternoon, a bit earlier than usual. Just going to do a couple hours of drawing and see if I can finish off some more sketches. So if you want to stick around tomorrow, I'll probably start early and go for a couple hours, and then try and finish everything off for the video, so it's ready for the 5th. So yeah, good night Isa, good night Hazel, good night Daniel, JT, Mihail, Spence, and Sunbro. I'll see you all maybe tomorrow, maybe another day. I'll just let the chat catch up with me, and then I'll be out. Yeah, hopefully it'll be 2 videos this week. Early for me, like I said, is 12 p.m. GMT or GBT, where GM, Great British time, Green Village time, London time. About 12, maybe 1 or 12 in British time. Whether that be in your region will vary wildly. These sketches will be in the new Goro video. So yeah, goodbye everyone. I'm ending now.